Here we go. My name is Tony Penny, and I'm the Chief Learning Officer here at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute. And we are absolutely honored that you've chosen the library as the site to host the Simi Valley Youth Summit this year. So our education mission here at the Foundation is to cultivate the next generation of engaged and informed citizen leaders. Here in Simi Valley, you'd be hard-pressed to find a better group of young leaders than the Simi Valley Youth Council. So I want to take just a minute. Let's give the Simi Valley Youth Council a hand. We want to thank you for all the incredible work that goes into creating a day like today. The Simi Valley Youth Council really works hard all year to represent the youth voice here in Simi Valley, and you should certainly be proud to know them and to be among them. I think Ronald Reagan would be incredibly proud to know that the Youth Summit is being hosted at his library. It represents something beautiful and unique about the American spirit. Today you come together to think about, to discuss, and to lend your hearts and minds to solving some pretty big problems. And let's be honest, you're attempting to do this at a time when the generation ahead of you has repeatedly demonstrated a lack of an ability to come together and solve problems, right? And that's dangerous. Ronald Reagan used to tell a story, and it goes a little bit like this. So there's two friends, and they're hiking through the woods. And they start to come up on this hill, and over the top of the hill comes a big, scary bear. This bear isn't happy. And so one friend drops to his knees, starts to peel off his hiking boots, and reaches into his backpack and pulls out a pair of sneakers that he brought with him. And the other one looks at him and says, "You don't really think you can outrun that bear, do you?" And he looks right back at him and says, "I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you." And that's sometimes what happens, right? Like in times of trouble, kind of we go to this every man or woman for himself mentality. And that's dangerous because when there's trouble and when there's big problems, we know and you know, and one of the reasons why you're here today is you know that in facing problems, it's better when people come together and work together to solve them. And so today we are looking to the youth for leadership, and we want you to show us how it can and how it should be done. Now, just a brief logistical note. You have a great guest speaker who's coming in today, Amelia Earhart, not that Amelia Earhart, but another Amelia Earhart, who has the same name and is concerned with the same issues, flying. And she is donating a flying lesson to one lucky person here today. You should have heard a little bit about this. In your folder, you should have a card that looks a little something like this. It says education on the background, or on the back of it. So here's how she's going to select who gets that flying lesson. You are going to write your name. Don't forget to put your name because you could have the world's best answer and no name and we won't know who it is. So make sure you put your name and your school on there. And in 140 characters or less, like a tweet, I want you to respond to this prompt. What is your summit and how do you plan to conquer it? Today's seminars or events are all about summits, right? So what's your summit? How do you plan to conquer it? Your responses will be judged on creativity and the impact. And they will be collected after the first session. So there'll be some baskets our team will be hanging out around. So make sure your name, 140 characters or less, respond to that prompt. What's your summit and how do you plan to conquer it? And then today after lunch, she will be announcing who the lucky recipient of the flying lesson is. So if you're interested in flying, make sure you do that at some point today. Leadership. So today it's a leadership summit. Leadership is about two things: raising your hands and rolling up your sleeves. So just by being here, you've already raised your hand and said, I am interested in being a leader. I am interested in tackling problems that face us as youth here in Simi Valley. There's a difference between leaders. So there's lots of people who raise their hands and say, yeah, I want to do something, or something should be done, or somebody should be done. If you just raise your hand and don't roll up your sleeves and actually go out and do the work, that's not much of a leader, right? It's a cheerleader. Right? We got to go get this, but not a leader. So a leader also rolls up their sleeves and actually does the work. And that's the beautiful thing about today is you're going to be sitting down with some really thoughtful friends and colleagues and fellow students from across Simi Valley to roll up your sleeves and actually do some work on some pretty big topics. So I want to leave you with a quote from Ronald Reagan that I think is a good way to leave today and hand it over to the Youth Council. So in his first inaugural address, President Reagan said, "We have every right to dream heroic dreams. Those who say that we're in a time where there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look." Now, I've used the words they and their in speaking of these heroes. I could say you and your, because I'm addressing the heroes of whom I speak, you, the citizens of this blessed land. Your dreams, your hopes, your goals are going to be the dreams, the hopes, and the goals of this administration. Can we solve the problems confronting us? Well, the answer is an unequivocal and emphatic yes. So with that yes, I'm happy to turn it over to Emily Ramirez.
Good morning and welcome to the 2017 Simi Valley Youth Summit. My name is Emily Ramirez and I am the current chair of the Simi Valley Youth Council. I now call the 2017 Youth Summit to order. Will the Youth Council representatives help me in leading the Pledge of Allegiance? All rise. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I would like to introduce our Youth Council. If I may ask all Youth Council members to please rise at this time. The names and schools of all Youth Council members are listed on the screen behind me. Will you please rise, Youth Council members? They'll take care of that. Okay. Are there any changes to today's agenda? There being none, the agenda stands as presented. Public statements. This is the time allotted for statements or comments on matters within the subject matter and jurisdiction of the Youth Council. Statements and comments are limited to no more than 5 minutes per speaker. Are there any public statements? There being none, we will now close the public statement portion of the agenda. The theme for this year's event is Conquer the Summit. I think the theme is very fitting to the overall idea of this event. In life, each of us has goals we want to conquer. Today, you will gain skills to start your journey in conquering your own personal summit. It takes endurance to make your way up the steep inclines, but you're not making the climb alone. As a community, we will focus on setting up the climb, helping one another, sharing ideas, and problem solving to make the journey easier. As the mountaineer, Sir Edmund Hillary said, "It is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves." So now, get ready for a trekking adventure. On behalf of all the Youth Council, I would first like to thank each and every one of you for attending. This event would not be possible if it wasn't for your interest in changing this community for the better. 16 years ago, the Youth Council hosted the first Youth Summit with the sole intent that the youth of Simi Valley would be able to make their mark and state what they believe are the most serious issues facing the community. Often, the youth in other communities are overlooked and their ideas ignored. We are not allowed to vote until we are 18, so sometimes it may seem that it is impossible for the youth to state their opinions about and solutions to community issues. However, today is a day where the youth are allowed to express ourselves and truly demonstrate the leadership skills that we have. Most importantly, though, today is a day to have fun and connect with other members of this community. At your table, each of you has a program that lists the order of today's events. Before we begin, I would like to remind you all of some important items. Restrooms are located down the hall near the stairs. Please turn off and silence your cell phones. Do not leave early without permission from Kristen Tignac, the Youth Council Coordinator. Where is she? There she is. And above all, remember to express yourself, your ideas, and enjoy your time here. Once again, this event would not be possible if it weren't for each and every one of you. So please attend each breakout session with enthusiasm for bringing forth interesting ideas, opinions, questions, or solutions. We are thankful to celebrate our 16th anniversary of the Youth Summit with you, and I hope you enjoy the time you spend here. With that being said, I am honored to introduce our Mayor, Bob Huber. Mayor Huber's public service also includes a long list of leadership roles with the Ventura County Community College District, the Simi Valley Boys and Girls Club, the Simi Valley Community Foundation, and the Rotary Club of Simi Valley. During his career, Mayor Huber has received much-deserved recognition for his community service endeavors. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Bob Huber to the stage.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the City Council and the citizens of Simi Valley, I welcome you to the 16th Annual Youth Summit. And this is my 7th Youth Summit. It's always a joy to be here with you. You are our future leaders. You are our current leaders at your level, and you will be our future leaders at the adult level. My first step towards getting involved in community service is when I was in high school, and it's hard to believe that I was in high school at some point in time because I'm older now, and I was a student body president of my high school, and I got involved, and it was a very rewarding experience. I was also student body president of I went to 3 colleges, one of my colleges, and so I've been involved since I've been young, like you. And it's given me a lot of joy and a lot of pleasure in terms of giving back to my community. And you'll have a positive impact on the lives around you as you get involved, and you'll see that you can make a difference. The issue of being involved is more than just going through the motions. The issue of being involved is, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring as an individual? What ideas of creativity do you have to make changes in your daily life and in the lives of others? And because anybody can go through the motions, and anybody can be a wind tester, okay, and vote with whatever the wind is. But the real difference maker is someone that brings new ideas and comes forward and is creative. And I challenge you to be creative as you go through this process, because that's what it's all about. And you are, like I said, our future leaders here. One of my favorite quotes that I've had for many, many years is we had an actress. She's retired now, I believe. Marlo Thomas is her name. And her father was a very famous comedian and actor by the name of Danny Thomas. And so for those of you that are familiar with St. Jude's Children's Hospital, on the big building it says founder Danny Thomas. So here's a fellow who is an actor but also an activist and made a difference in the world. And the comment that his daughter quotes from him is, "They're givers in the world and they're takers in the world. And most of the time, the takers eat better. But all of the time, the givers sleep better." And that just had a lot of impact on me, because you get a lot of satisfaction on giving back to your fellow citizens and to the world and to making a difference. I'm hoping the Youth Summit here today for all of you inspires you, not only for today, but for the long term to, as they say, conquer the summit. And that's the theme today. And I encourage you to really get involved in the process. And you've been given a tremendous opportunity to be here today. And what a beautiful setting in this presidential library, which is the #1 presidential library in the United States of America. You may already know that. And the man this library is named after, President Ronald Reagan, was a very inspirational president for a lot of people, and he still is today. During your lunch period, make every minute count. Talk to the many local leaders that will be here today to interface with you, voice your concerns and your ideas with them. Speaking for all of our local leaders, we need to know what issues are important to you so we can make a difference for you in terms of what you want in the community. A very valuable tool that we as city council members have is our youth council, because you come and present us with ideas and we implement those ideas, and this is part of that process, okay? So please be very, very involved and engaged and give us ideas, because a lot of things that we do, we get from recommendations of others that are involved in our community. We have 4 neighborhood councils, community divided up into 4 sections, and we get ideas from them. And we have a senior group that gives us their ideas. We have a youth group, which is the youth council, gives their ideas, and we have the neighborhood councils. And we listen to everyone. And then the 5 of us debate and make decisions that because every part of our community is important. From you, the youth, to the seniors in our community. And part of this whole process for us, in terms of us learning where people are coming from, is to hear directly from them. And so that's why we have these different organizations. And this is such an important event today for us, the city council members, to hear from you, to know what you think, because we do listen and we do implement, just so you're aware of that. I hope you enjoy your program today. It's going to be a really well planned out program for you. I'll leave you with a quote from Booker T. Washington, an African-American educator, author, and American civil rights leader. And the quote is as follows: "You measure the size of the accomplishment by the obstacles you had to overcome to reach your goals." Very impactful, you think about it. It's not easy to overcome your goals. You have to work hard to do that. But it's very, very rewarding. I wish you every success today. Thank you for inviting me, and have a great day.
Thank you, Mayor Bob Huber. Your involvement with the youth in our community is very much appreciated, respected, and acknowledged by both the Youth Council and the youth that are present today. Now I would like to hand over the mic to our wonderful Youth Summit Chair, Zalma Quesada. Over the past couple of months, Zalma and our committee have dedicated both time and effort to assure that this event is spectacular. So please join me in giving me a warm welcome to Zalma as she comes to the stage. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2017 Simi Valley Youth Summit. The Youth Council has been working on this event for months and is very excited for it to take place today. We selected this year's theme, Conquer the Summit, for two reasons. First, because we want to encourage all of you to overcome the obstacles in your way that prevent you from reaching greatness. Second, the Youth Summit is taking place on one of the biggest mountains in our city. Our goal today is for you to have fun, make connections, voice your opinions, enjoy some amazing food, and accomplish a better understanding of the options available to help you take action in your community. Let's get started by looking through the welcome packets you received at check-in. So you have paper to take notes and write down ideas that you have throughout the day. Pens are on the tables if you need them. There's also an application for you to serve on the Youth Council. The Youth Council is the voice of the youth in Simi Valley, which advises the City Council. If you want to make a difference in the youth community and further improve your opportunities, then this is the place for you. You could get to plan this event and even give a speech like I am right now. There is also multiple flyers featuring opportunities for leadership development and civic engagement offered by the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation and Institute. There's a cool business card encouraging you to come by and check out a youth council meeting. We invite you to speak and share your opinions at the start of each meeting and address issues like drug and alcohol abuse, suicide prevention, teen activities, and more. You are also welcome to come by and observe to learn more about our community. Next, there is a list of local volunteer opportunities for you and your friends provided by the Youth Council. The Youth Council has also created a list of teen activities in Simi Valley for anyone who might be interested in participating or trying something new. Flyers for upcoming events presented by the Simi Valley Public Library, the Rancho Simi Recreation and Park District, and the Simi Valley Conserves. Finally, there's an evaluation of today's event. I recommend that you complete it throughout the day as you go through the different sessions while your ideas are fresh in your mind. Be sure to complete it and leave it on the table before you leave this afternoon. This event is entirely youth-inspired, youth-coordinated, and youth-led, so your input is absolutely essential in continuing to make the Youth Summit exciting, impactful, and relevant to all of us.